Here are 101 facts about Audi, aka the original tailgaters. Number 1. Audi paints all of its radiators black. That way, you'll never see a tacky metal radiator behind their grille. Number 2. Audi uses emu feathers to polish their cars before they leave the factory, because only emu feathers can deliver the fine, smooth finish that Audi deems acceptable. Number 3. Audi has a 6-member team of experts to smell their wood and leather to make sure that their interiors don't contain any clashing or unpleasant smells. And by the way, Audi takes this very seriously. The sniffers can't smoke, wear perfume, or eat garlic. They're also not allowed to work or come close to any of the other team members if they have a cold. This isn't a new thing either. Audi has had Snout Team 6 since 1985. Number 4. If you've ever felt useless, just remember that the Audi A8 has heated armrests. Number 5. In the late 30s, Audi rolled a car down a hill in front of a group of spectators, making it the first ever rollover test in history. Number 6. Audi's 4 rings represent the 4 companies that came together to create the Auto Union, which later became Audi AG. Number 7. In 2009, Audi placed this billboard in California, which didn't make a lot of sense. That's until you looked at the other side, where they took a little jab at BMW. So BMW decided to respond with the billboard right across the street, which caused quite a stir on social media, forcing Audi to respond with this. And this apparently struck a chord with BMW, so they rented this blimp right over Audi's billboard, thinking that they delivered the kill shot. But Audi very cleverly came out with this billboard, which shut BMW up for a while. That's until this image came out 1 year later, which shows a BMW billboard placed right on top of an Audi dealership in Hong Kong. Although, to be fair, responding after a year doesn't actually make you a winner. But what do you think? Number 8. e-tron means turd in French. Number 9. Audi switched to door handles that you had to lift instead of pull, because most of the old guys that could afford them had arthritis. Number 10. Audi actually made their car horns louder in Indian markets, because this is normal driving conditions in India. Number 11. The Audi R8's gated manual didn't physically touch the gated cover. Instead, it had a gated insert underneath to keep the upper one pretty. Audi also intentionally made the clacking sound of the lever snapping into place much louder, so you could hear that satisfying click over the exhaust note. Number 12. Audi's slogan, Vorsprung durch Technik, is older than Audi itself, because the Auto Union officially became Audi in 1985, and this slogan has been around since 1971. Number 13. When you have electrical issues, the first thing you need to do is check your fuses, because they're cheap and easy to access. Well, that's not the case for some Audi models, because an engineer decided to make some poor schmuck's life harder by placing the fuse box under the PCM, which was already under the washer reservoir. Meaning if your washer reservoir ever leaked, it could total the car, because it would create electrical gremlins bad enough to push Tavarish's hairline further back than the car wizards. Number 14. The Audi RS3 has special DRLs that spell out RS3. Number 15. Audi technically invented the rotary engine. I know, just hear me out. In 1954, German engineer Felix Wankel invented the rotary engine while working for NSU Motorenwerke AG. And in 1969, Volkswagen acquired NSU and merged it with Auto Union to create Audi NSU Auto Union AG, meaning that a small part of Audi is fully responsible for the Dorito engine. They also made an e-tron concept in 2010 that was powered by a hybrid rotary engine. Number 16. While refueling the pre-production model of the first-gen Audi RS6, an engineer noticed some weird noises coming out of the fuel tank. Those noises are also known as tank mooing, farting, or queak. Anyways, that's not a sound a luxury sport car should make, so they replaced its fuel tank with a slightly smaller one, which allowed them to use longer pipes, eliminating the air compression issues causing that weird queef. Number 17. The Quattro all-wheel drive system was originally developed for the Volkswagen Itlis by Audi in 1976, which was an off-road vehicle made for the German military. But Audi was so impressed by their own creation, they took that technology and applied it on their own production cars, starting with the UR Quattro in 1980. Number 18. On their 100th birthday, BMW posted this, so Audi immediately made this ad to congratulate their younger brother. By the way, Audi is only 7 years older than BMW. Number 19. The Audi RSQ, which was specifically built for the movie I, Robot starring My Wife is Bald, actually predates the R8, because the RSQ was built in 2004 while the R8 came out in 2006. Number 20. Audi only sold 40 manual cars in the US in 2018, which is why they decided to drop the manual altogether in 2019, and they haven't sold a single one in America since. Number 21. The International Olympic Committee sued Audi over their logo in 1995, but Audi won since the logos looked nothing alike and the Olympic Committee was just on a power trip. Number 22. The Audi S1 rally car used an external wastegate from the Porsche 911 Turbo, but they grinded the Porsche logo away because they didn't want anyone to know. Number 23. In 1998, Audi was trying to build their first road-legal supercar, but it would cost too much because they hadn't built one before. So they bought Lamborghini instead, because they figured that with Lamborghini's sales and expertise, it would be much more cost-effective than fully building it in-house. And that's how the R8 came to life. Number 24. In 1985, a plane that was scheduled to land in St. Augustine Airport experienced a malfunction with its landing gear, and they needed to go under it mid-flight to fix it, but none of the trucks were fast enough to keep up with the plane. That's when someone had the crazy idea to use the Audi 5000 owned by one of the mechanics, because it was fast and had a sunroof, which is how we got this amazing picture of a mechanic fixing the plane while going 90 miles per hour. Number 25. Audi sells wireless charging pads for their electric cars. Number 26. Audi's founder, August Horch, founded Horch & C in 1902, but due to some issues with the investors, he left that company in 1909 to start his own company. But he couldn't use his surname because Horch & C owned the rights to the Horch name, so he called a meeting with his business partners to try and find a good, marketable name. That's when the son of a business partner suggested to use the Latin translation for the Horch name, which is Audi, and it means listen. Number 27. The Audi RS2 was built and developed with Porsche. The RS2 also has the Porsche logo on its tailgate, brakes, grille, and intake manifold. Number 28. Audi covers around 35 million test kilometers a year in different countries and climates. They also drive each RS model over 8,000 kilometers on the Nürburgring, which is around 400 laps. Number 29. The fastest Audi to this day is the 1938 Type C Streamliner, which had a 560 horsepower 16-cylinder engine and a top speed of 440 kilometers per hour. But sadly, it was involved in a fatal accident during testing, which killed its driver, Bernd Rosemeyer. Number 30. In 2017, California experienced a flood which caused 5 deaths and a lot of damage. But that didn't stop Audi from trolling BMW drivers, because they posted a video of an Audi driving past a stuck and hydrolocked BMW. There's a time and a place, Audi. Number 31. Audi provided toy cars for Washington Pediatric Hospital in 2021, so the little patients could be driven to their surgery rooms in style. Number 32. The third-generation Audi S6 had a detuned version of the Gallardo's 5.2-liter V10. Number 33. On February 19, 2019, an Audi RS6 was driving at around 230 kilometers per hour when a 68-year-old truck driver with burnt-out taillights suddenly changed lanes, sending the RS6 airborne, where it struck a pole, splitting the car and driver in half, with the other half of the driver never being found. Soon after, people started posting clips of this crash paired with a song called Kerosene, and that's where the Audi RS6 trend comes from. Number 34. Since its debut, over half of the Audi RS6 buyers have ordered their cars with the optional towing package, which just goes to show you don't have to settle for practicality. Number 35. You might have noticed that Audi loves big butts, and it's because they have a central design philosophy called making the technology visible. And since Quattro is their whole identity, they want you to know about the junk in their trunks. Number 36. In the 2019 New York International Auto Show, Audi offered free Wi-Fi, which they used to troll BMW by naming their networks 328 Reasons to Choose the A4, A4 has more horsepower than 328i, and A4 has more torque than 328i. But my favorite one was A4 has CarPlay, because at that time, BMW was receiving backlash for their decision to make CarPlay a paid subscription. I wholeheartedly believe Audi is better at trolling BMW than they are at building cars. Number 37. Audi's new Matrix headlights have 2.6 million micromirrors, which are a few thousandths of a millimeter long, and every single mirror can be adjusted up to 5,000 times a second. Number 38. Audi's race division, which creates gas-guzzling, fuel-thirsty race cars, uses carbon-neutral renewable energy, which is like drinking Diet Coke at a buffet. Number 39. Now we all know that Volkswagen owns Audi, but what many people don't know is that Mercedes is the one who sold Audi to VW in 1964. Number 40. Only the longest-serving and best-performing employees at Audi are allowed to build the R8, and they are called the Silverliners, because most of them have been with Audi for decades and now have gray hair. Number 41. In the late 80s, many drivers of the Audi 5000 reported cases of sudden acceleration, causing severe and sometimes fatal accidents. In fact, there were so many reports that the CBS hit show 60 Minutes bought an Audi 5000 and started performing their own tests, where the car suddenly accelerated due to a faulty idle stabilizer. Immediately after the show aired, Audi was bombarded by lawsuits, and their sales went down by almost 80%. Pushing them to the brink of bankruptcy. It got so bad that the government stepped in and performed their own tests, but to everyone's surprise, the Audi 5000 was perfectly fine, and it turns out that CBS had modified their test vehicle to give them the results they wanted. But how about all the independent driver reports? Well, those drivers were too stupid to drive, because they would put the car in drive and press the accelerator instead of the brake pedal, causing their cars to accelerate, which is usually what happens when you press the gas pedal. But instead of passing blame, Audi dummy-proofed their cars by installing a safety mechanism, which required the driver to press a brake pedal in order to take the car out of park, fixing the issues caused by their customers' stupidity. Number 42. Most Audis have a little valve which allows you to redirect the air from the AC into the glove box, basically turning it into a little fridge. Number 43. The 1977 Audi 100 was the first production 5-cylinder petrol engine in the world, and it made 136 horsepower and 135 pound-feet of torque. It also sounds heavenly. Number 44. Before Audi, August Horch worked for Carl Benz, the founder of Mercedes-Benz. Number 45. For some ridiculous reason, Audi put a 6-liter V12 in the Q7, which made 500 horsepower and 737 pound-feet of torque, and it was a diesel. Number 46. Audi will automatically lock all of their doors when you go over 15 kilometers per hour, and you can only open the doors by pulling the door handle with the intention of breaking it twice. Number 47. Like most other brands, Audi makes a lot of different products like clothes, pens, watches, scale models, mugs, pacifiers, useful for all their drivers, umbrellas, masks, bags, sunglasses, phone cases, baby bottles, flip-flops, lunchboxes, towels, and car-shaped USB sticks. Number 48. Some Audis have illuminated seatbelt buckles, which makes finding the hole a lot easier. It also kind of says a lot about their drivers. No offense. Number 49. In the early 80s, some of Audi's race engineers realized that the Quattro rally car was slowly losing its edge in Group B, and it wouldn't take long before the competition got ahead. So the engineers pitched the idea of a mid-engine Quattro to Audi, but they were shot down, because Audi wanted to keep their race cars looking like their production versions to improve sales. But the engineers were haunted by the idea of a mid-engine rally monster, so they decided to secretly build a mid-engine Group B monster, which was reportedly stupid fast. At least that's what the press said when they leaked this story in 1985. And since this car went against Audi's very public stance of keeping the cars somewhat stock, they immediately axed the project and destroyed the prototype to save face, killing what could have been a legendary racer. That's mainstream media for you. Number 50. The Audi e-tron has paddle shifters, but it's used to control the amount of regenerative braking since it doesn't actually have gears. Number 51. Audi moved the battery for the first and second gen Audi TT Quattro and Quattro Sport to the trunk for better weight distribution. But since the battery could only fit inside the wheel well of the spare tire, Audi just decided to ditch the spare tire entirely for the sake of weight reduction. Number 52. The Audi Q4 e-tron has a paint option called Solar Sky, which uses special pigments to reflect the shortwave radiation coming from the sun, keeping the interior cool even under direct sunlight. This also increases the range of the Q4 since it uses less power to keep the cabin and the battery cool. Number 53. Audi has a test called the Inca test, where they age the car 12 years in just 19 weeks by putting the cars through shakedown tests, temperature fluctuations, salt corrosion, and rough driving conditions. Number 54. In 2015, Audi Japan announced a special edition A8 called the A8 5.5, which came with a built-in rice cooker and green interior. But it was just an April Fool's joke. Although the joke was ultimately on Audi, because a lot of people, And I really do mean a lot of people, started contacting Audi dealerships wanting to buy this special edition kitchen on wheels. So in an effort to save face, Audi sent out special edition branded wooden spoons to the disappointed potential customers. Number 55. In 2022, a Wheel of Fortune contestant by the name of Charlene guessed a puzzle wrong when she said choosing the right card, but then she immediately said the correct answer, which was choosing the right word. And apparently, Wheel of Fortune has a rule that says you have to pause for a specific period of time between answers, so they disqualified her and didn't give her the prize, which was a brand new Audi. But everyone thought that she was robbed, including Audi, so they gave her a brand new car, saying that she was a winner in their eyes. Number 56. Audi has a sound logo, which is a beating heart. Number 57. The Audi A8 has an antenna which is used to boost the signal of your phone, so you wouldn't have to load like a Number 58. When Audi first introduced the RS option to their cars, they vowed to only sell one model at a time, so they could pour all of their attention on that one car. But of course, that's not the case anymore, since Audi is much bigger and can produce more than one model at a time. Number 59. The 1921 Type K was the first German left-hand drive car. Number 60. After Group B fell, Audi decided to compete in the Trans Am road racing series in America to see if their Quattro system worked in road racing as well. And as it turns out, it worked really well. Too well, actually, because it was dominating every race and embarrassing every team. So in an effort to save the sport, the organizers banned all-wheel drive systems entirely because there was nothing else they could do. Number 61. In 2016, Audi published a very cool R8 advert called The Eye. But due to one Karen's pathetic complaint to the Advertising Standards Authority, the advertisement was banned in the UK because they claimed it linked speed with excitement. Again, only one person complained. Number 62. The Audi RS6's first public appearance was on the Nürburgring, where Audi held a 24-hour race carried out by 194 different Audi dealers with over 30,000 spectators in the stands. Now that's how you publicize a car. Number 63. In 2009, Dr. Mike Powers was alerted about a newborn infant having respiratory distress in another hospital, and as the only pediatric doctor on call, he was asked to help with this case remotely. But when he was fully briefed in, he realized that there was no way that kid could survive the night without receiving the proper care in another hospital. But since there was a really bad blizzard going on, all emergency response vehicles were grounded, which is when he decided to personally transport the infant in his Audi A4 Quattro. Dorothy is now 15 years old. Well done, Dr. Mike. Number 64. Most Audis come equipped with a tiny sun visor for the rear view mirror, and it's super cute. Number 65. In 2010, Audi managed to complete the Pikes Peak hill climb in a TTS in 27 minutes, which was as slow as it was impressive, because there was nobody in the driver's seat. Yes, the car finished Pikes Peak in one piece while being driven autonomously, 14 years ago. Number 66. The Audi A8 has the worst resale value in the US, and it loses over 52% of its value in just 5 years, kind of making it the perfect daily driver. Number 67. Audi's Q lineup had been missing the Q2 and the Q4 for the longest time because Fiat owned their trademark and they refused to sell it to Audi out of spite. Because Lancia and Audi were fierce competitors in Group B, and Fiat owned Lancia. But they finally caved in 2016, allowing Audi to complete their Q1 to Q9 lineup. Number 68. The 1949 DKW Schnelllaster is widely acknowledged to be the first example of the modern soccer mom minivan. Number 69. Every R8 goes through an extensive and thorough X-ray check after production to ensure the consistency of its body gaps. You hear that, Tesla? Number 70. After being acquired by Volkswagen, Audi released their 100 model, which wasn't anything special. And since Audi didn't want their car to become just another VW, they started secretly working on a coupe version without VW's knowledge, because they wanted to claim their brand individuality without any interference. Once the design was finished, they sent the car to VW for approval, and the Audi 100 Coupe S was officially born. Number 71. While testing the 5th generation A4, someone at Audi noticed that it's hard to refill your windshield washer reservoir without spilling some water. And since you're going to spend a good amount of time with your hood open, you need to keep your engine bay clean, which is why the reservoir was moved to the front passenger fender. Number 72. After the first generation Audi TT came out, drivers reported instability at high speeds, which could potentially cause the car to spin out and get Audi sued. which is why they immediately issued a recall, where you had to go back to the dealer and they would install a relatively small spoiler, making the car more aerodynamic. But a few drivers didn't get this recall because they would rather die than to have someone drill holes into their trunk, making cars like this a really rare and frankly stupid example. Number 73. Audi CEO Rupert Stadler received a $1.2 million fine and a suspended sentence for his involvement in the Dieselgate scandal in 2015. Number 74. The Audi R8 was the first car to come equipped with front and rear LED lights. Also, the headlights have 24 LEDs combined, which is a nod to their success in the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Number 75. The Audi e-tron uses the same windshield as the Porsche Taycan because they were developed on the same platform. The only thing done separately was the design, and both of the design teams from Porsche and Audi would meet up every 3 months to make sure that their projects didn't look similar. They basically pulled an Uno reverse card on the concept of cheating. Number 76. The 1994 Audi A8 was the first ever mass-produced aluminum car in the world, and its frame weighed only 249 kilograms, which is really light. Number 77. In 2015, Audi unveiled the Lunar Quattro, which had a top speed of 2.2 miles per hour and could travel 500 meters at a time, all while transmitting HD video footage. Audi made the Lunar Quattro to compete in Google's Lunar X Prize competition, which had a prize pool of $30 million, but Audi's impressively versatile and cute Rover didn't win. In fact, no one did, because after 11 years, none of the 29 teams were able to meet the deadline with a fully functioning Rover. Number 78. Audi drove a car up a ski slope in 1986 to show off their Quattro system, and they did it again in 2005 to celebrate 25 years of Quattro. Number 79. Audi has been exclusively using bull leather since 2009, and they test its quality by setting it on fire. Number 80. Audi was technically the first company to use Level 3 full autonomous driving in 2018. I say technically because they used it on their traffic jam pilot system, which only worked at speeds under 60 kilometers per hour. Number 81. Audi just agreed to a class action settlement over their engine's excessive oil consumption. This settlement affects cars made from 2012 to 2017. Number 82. The rarest car ever made by Audi is the Auto Union Type D, which was the result of a competition proposed to Mercedes and Audi by the angry little fella, because he wanted a car to represent Germany's technological advancement. Only 5 units were made, and Audi has vowed to collect all 5. They currently have 3 of them. Number 83. Audi's race division, which was responsible for the Audi Quattro, was officially registered as a brand just 1 day before their debut in the Monte Carlo Rally. Number 84. The Auto Union struck a deal with the German government in World War II to turn their factories into concentration camps to build tanks and equipment for the war. It's also reported that over 20,000 people were forced to work for the Auto Union, with over 4,000 deaths in the process. Number 85. The Audi A6 has automatic belt feeders, which kind of makes it the German 240SX. Just think about it. Number 86. Back in the day, Audi made one of the best and cheapest ads in history, all while giving a backhanded compliment to their competition. Number 87. The R8 name originates from Audi's Le Mans race car from 1999. Number 88. In 2003, Motorentechnik Meyer, MTM for short, built a tuned 1.8-liter Audi TT that made 501 horsepower, which is a lot because it has 2 of those engines, which means it has a combined power output of 1,002 horsepower, giving it a top speed of 244 miles per hour. MTM also tried to sell a limited run of 10 vehicles, but they weren't able to achieve this goal due to the high development costs. Number 89. Audi has a secret garage in Ingolstadt, Germany, and it holds Audi's most prized and legendary cars, including their race cars, which were taken to storage fresh off the track. Number 90. Avant means forward in French. Number 91. Forza is the only racing franchise to legally feature the Audi RS2. Number 92. In 2016, Audi made a one-off limo A8, which was called the A8L Extended, and for some reason, it came with a tiny V6, which only made 310 horsepower and 325 pound-feet of torque, even though the normal A8 offered a perfectly reasonable 12-cylinder making 500 horsepower. Audi originally planned to make just the one unit to make their wealthy client happy, but they since have made a couple more on the request of some other clients. Number 93. The entry-level Porsche 924 used the Audi 100's 2-liter engine, which was originally sourced from VW. It doesn't get any more inbred than that. Number 94. Audi has decided to officially join F1 in 2026, which is their first ever entry into the sport. Number 95. The Audi 50 was built in collaboration with Volkswagen and NSU in 1974, and it was the first German small city car, which competed with the Renault 5 and Fiat 127. But after seeing the Audi 50's success, Volkswagen decided to rebadge it as the Volkswagen Polo, which basically killed the 50, because the Polo was much cheaper. And after selling 180,000 units, the Audi 50 was discontinued in 1978 after 4 short years. Number 96. Audi was the first automaker to win Le Mans with both hybrid and diesel-powered vehicles. Number 97. Audi has an apprentice program where they train future Audi designers and engineers, and in 2020, they gave their students an assignment where they had to build a concept car which perfectly embodied Audi's rich history in racing. So the students decided to build an IMSA GTO-inspired Audi RS6, which was called the RS6 GTO, and I think everyone would agree that they did an amazing job. Number 98. A 25-year-old from Sweden called Ola Johansson built a Quattro S1 replica using a junkyard shell, which he bought for $200, and it was an impressive build, especially because he used and engineered parts from different older Audis because he didn't have enough money to use original parts. Later on, Ola and his build were featured in an article which caught the attention of the Swedish motor show Valkra, and after receiving a personal invitation from the show's organizer, Ola reluctantly agreed to attend with his beloved Audi, and that's where he met a Koenigsegg engineer by the name of Marco Graver. After chatting for a couple of minutes, Marco offered Ola a job at Koenigsegg and hired him on the spot, which sounds like every car guy's dream. Number 99. In 2003, Audi came out with the second-generation A8, which had LED daytime running lights instead of the normal halogen lights which were offered by Volvo and Saab at that time. And Audi claimed that their new lights improved the fuel economy because it used less energy. So Captain Slow decided to follow up on Audi's claim by asking Volvo to crunch the numbers. And after doing the calculations, Volvo told James May that the difference in fuel economy was so small that it couldn't be measured, which just shows you how painfully precise Germans are. Number 100. Ken Block's last Gymkhana was produced right after he signed with Audi, using a 1400 horsepower Group B-inspired electric Audi S1. Rest in peace, brother. You'll always be missed. Number 101. The 1969 Audi 60 was the first designated model to feature their current 4 rings logo. And that's it. Thanks for watching, and make sure you subscribe because we're doing Nissan next.